Hey everybody, this is Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com here in San Diego, California. What have I got here? This is the front rack that's specific for the Vespa HPE GTS. So as you all know, if you watched the previous videos, they've restyled the front end of the GTS, and now Piaggio's released a specific rack that fits this scooter. So our part number for this beauty is GTS 13PA-HPE. It can be found on our website, ScooterWest.com. Very simple to install compared to the prior Piaggio original front rack. Again, it will require drilling if you watch the video on installation of this rack on a GTS. But for the HPE GTS, this is a very specific part. They've changed the mounting points and the 2 holes that need to be drilled, or 3 holes, excuse me. So I'll show how to do that. Looks great, especially on this Vespa GTS Touring right here. The Touring comes with a folding rear rack that can also accommodate a top case box, but why don't you just finish it off? You got the windshield, the fly screen on there, put the front rack. Definitely adds to the classic lines of this scooter. Goes great with the chrome accents and the metallic green paint on the scooter. So jump into what's included. You get the front rack and the hardware kit. Just a couple pieces of basic hardware that need to be installed, and of course you'll need to drill 2 holes. I just said 3 holes because the prior rack did need 3 holes, but 2 holes will need to be drilled into your horn cover, not into the bodywork of the scooter. Horn cover is the easy part to replace, so nothing to worry about. Pretty simple to install. So a couple basic tools are going to be needed. You're going to need a drill, of course. I'm going to use this step drill bit that goes up to about a 1/2 inch or about 13 millimeters. Maybe it's a little larger than that, 3/4 inch. And you're going to need a 4 millimeter Allen key, a 13 millimeter combination wrench or socket, a small flat bladed screwdriver, and the T25 Torx driver. So let's jump into the installation. Start with the flat bladed screwdriver from the left side of the scooter. The left side of the scooter. On the Piaggio badge, you want to get the screwdriver right between that badge and carefully pry the badge up, and pulls right away. Reveals a single fastener underneath the badge. T25 driver. Go and remove that screw. Pretty straightforward here. And if you don't have a T25 driver, it's going to be found in the toolkit in the glove box of your scooter. Go ahead and pull this horn cover off. It just pulls straight off the bike. And we'll go ahead and flip that around. And right here you can see a little detent. That's where one of the fasteners will be drilled, and there will be a lower position for the second fastener that passes through that holds the front rack. So I'm going to start with the painful part, drilling the holes in your painted bodywork. So you have 2 detents. There's a detent down here, and moving on up above the mounting hole, there's another detent. So these detents help you center the drill bit, and just carefully drill these holes out. I would say up to about a 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters. It's always good to start small and just verify your holes before you make the hole too large where you can't easily cover it up. So pretty straightforward with a step drill bit. Just get it centered right onto that little detent right there, and get your shavings out of the way, and you can see a nice fresh step drill bit drills very clean. Didn't chip any of the paint. And repeat with the lower fastener here. So with the lower one, you can go ahead and install, thread it in. Take your 13 millimeter wrench. I want to warn you, you don't want to over tighten these because they will easily break. If you're using a torque wrench, I would say torque them to about 12 foot-pounds. Go ahead and install the horn cover. Lines right up, and just a simple little tap to pop that on. And the 2 remaining spacers now can be threaded in place. So this guy goes right here. And onto the upper spacer, go ahead and thread that in. Take your 13mm wrench, snug both fasteners. So take the 2 rubber grommets, and it's pretty easy to stretch right over the bolt. Position it so it covers up part of your hole, and move on to the top one and do the same. Snap your Piaggio badge back into place. So you have a shorter and longer Allen screw along with these Belleville domed washers. These washers kind of have a dome to them. The edge that has a serration on it will go towards the screw. Go ahead and install that. The longer screw is going to go on the lower mounting point, but we'll start with the shorter screw and get the top part of the rack mounted. So get the rack position so it approximately lines up with the fasteners. You have the 4 rubber suction pups that kind of rest up against the bodywork. Go ahead and rotate them so you can get the rack as close as you can to the scooter bodywork. And you can see they're kind of approximately rotated to where they're in a 45-degree position. And we'll go ahead and start on the upper fastener. I'm just going to get that hand tight. So now it's hanging on its own. And we'll get the lower fastener in. Get it lined up with the threaded boss that we installed. Both started. Take your 4mm Allen. I have the ball end, makes it a little easier if you're coming in at an awkward angle. And so what we'll do is go between the upper and lower screws and just go ahead and snug them down. You want to pull the rack all the way to those threaded bosses or spacers or whatever you want to call them. Move on to the lower. Then go ahead and flip your Allen around. If you're going to torque these, not very tight, maybe 7 foot-pounds at the very most. But I'll just snug them in place. As with any accessories, you want to come back and check to make sure these accessories are tight. You know, ideally after a couple 100 miles, or for instance this scooter, if it comes back for a first service, we would check all the accessories while it's in our service department. So there you go. Got the front rack. Definitely adds to the look of the scooter, gives it the touring look. And may you ask, why would you have a front rack? Does it serve any practical purpose? I would say yes. I've used this kind of rack on some of my prior GTSs for long distance touring. If you watched our, I think, 6-part or 12-part Mexico series, you see some of our scooters were equipped with a front rack that we powder coated in red, of course, to match our Pacifico yellow scooters. You can put anything from a beach towel on there to just another roll bag. One thing about this rack is it's spring loaded, so it wants to return into upper position. In the description, I have the item that will hold this rack in a down position. Of course, you can always use some type of strap or bungee cord. Holds up to 4 kilograms, which is about 10 pounds. You know, don't want to overload the front end. Kind of can affect your handling quite a bit if you're going to put 25, 50 pounds on this rack. Maybe it'll hold it, but it may affect the handling. Returns back into place. Another thing that's pretty cool with these front racks, you can mount extra lights right off these fixed bars right down here. If you want to mod your scooter out, you could put some mod mirrors on it. All sorts of fun stuff you can do with this rack other than just install it for the looks. So there you go, the front rack. Pretty simple to install. Easier than all the other racks that have been available for the front of the GTS. Nice, easy 2-bolt mounting. There's no hangers that hang off the front like many of the aftermarket front racks from Facco, Capini. Hope everybody liked it. Maybe it's good to add to your looks, you know, of your scooter, especially if you're going for the touring look. For instance, this scooter here, the Vespa GTS Touring. Starting to fall in love with this color. It's quite a nice color. If I get a GTS, this might be it. As much as I might like the Super Tech, not too fond of that LCD color screen on it. I like the classic stuff. Until next time, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport, scooterwest.com. Check us out online. Stop by our store in San Diego, usually in the service department. Any of the guys on the phones, they can help you out if you're looking to order stuff or have some questions. 619-280-1718. Extension 602 is the parts guys. We can call our showroom. 604 is the extension for those guys. They're happy to sell you a fully loaded accessorized scooter if you don't want to tackle installing an accessory like this. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Vespa Motorsport. Subscribe to our channel. Check out over 400 other Vespa related videos. Until next time, Robot here.